Well, I have another odd item here, a nightlight. This one I believe is Frosty the Snowman. Kind of hard to see in the plastic, so let's get it open. A little bit clearer right there. So what's going on with this thing? The power switch is broken. This happens to belong to a family member, and I'm married to that family member. Let's see if it'll open. Yes, it will. There is the night light itself. Sounds like a maraca inside, so luckily there are screws. Let's take them out and see what's actually inside. And I'll kind of somewhat try to keep this in view. Okay, well, that's interesting. Does this ring come off somehow? Has to. Well, we're going to have to get it off because there's supposed to be a center pin right there that connects with the center pin right there, and it is absolutely gone. And I think the only thing holding it together is that ring. Looks like there's a small lip right there. We'll probably just have to pry it past it. I hope they didn't put it in there, then mold the top over it. And I'm hoping I don't destroy this thing in the process. Ah, the ring is rubbery, which is nice. So I'm thinking if I just pry down on it, get under it, and pry it up, it may take multiple screwdrivers simultaneously. And I win. All right. Well, there's what's inside. How does this puzzle all go back together? All right, so that piece goes there. And I think what's missing, oh, there it is. That is supposed to be bonded to the switch right there. Shoot, that's the spring that pushes the center contact down. You can see this spring right there pushes the top contact down to apply pressure here. Can I drill it and put something in there like a toothpick maybe? It's about the right diameter. Well, that's going to be tough. I would say let's just go ahead and solder this lead together, but I need to have constant pressure down in there to push that contact against this rotating piece. All right, so I went in the kitchen. I found a toothpick, which I think might actually work if I can get the hole drilled correctly on the back of this thing. That's going to be the only caveat. So if I measure the diameter of the toothpick, I'm at about 1.9 millimeters. And the diameter of the broken piece is 2.16 millimeters. I actually think the toothpick is probably going to be stronger than this cheap Chinese plastic is. So my quandary is I've got a 1/16 drill bit, which is 1.57 millimeters, or I've got a 3/64, which is 1.97. That's pretty close to the 1.88 diameter of the toothpick. I'm sure it's eccentric slightly. Yeah, 1.92. There it is, 1.96. I think that's going to be pretty close. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill this with the 1/16 drill bit of 1.57 millimeters. So I think I've got a better chance of getting that thing centered in there. Well, so far that looks pretty doggone close. We're off-centered just a little bit. Let's see how close we are. Well, it looks pretty true. I think that might actually do it. I think that's going to be pretty close. I'm not sure I can enlarge it big enough. I might just go ahead and hit it with the Dremel and try to enlarge it. I could just go ahead and stick that part of the toothpick, but it's got quite a bit of wobble to it. And I don't think I can just force it in there. There's no way. Also, I've just wallowed it out just a little bit, and I went ahead and trimmed the tapered end just slightly. And look at that. Fits like a glove. So I think I'm going to be able just to go ahead and maybe add a droplet of hot glue to this thing. Put it back together. Trim it off. We're going to have to hot glue the spring onto it because the diameter of the toothpick is just ever so slightly. Well, maybe not. I thought it was going to be smaller, but it actually fits on there quite nicely. We'll try to thread the toothpick on there and see if it's going to work. Well, yeah, this is the end that we need to use right here. So the small end is the end that goes into the ball socket. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a little droplet of hot glue because it's going to be constantly pivoting, which is what broke it off in the first place, like that. I think this will probably last longer than the original factory equipment did. All right, here we go. I've got the hot glue gun warmed up, so I'm just going to try to get the spring set close to it here. I'm just going to shoot some hot glue in it. Got to warm up that toothpick at the same time. Well, there is the final assembled product after cooling and after trimming. And it looks like I think it's going to be just fine. I mean, that should be more than enough deflection on this thing. So let's go ahead and throw it back together now. And I went ahead and picked up some C7 LED bulbs, 0.75 watts actual watts used, equivalent of a 4-watt incandescent bulb for decorative purposes only. 15,000 hour rated. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so I've got it plugged into my test box here. And we flip it to on and we see light. That is a very good sign. So it's reading about a 0.65-ish power factor, which is what I would expect. 1.2 VA or 0.8 watts. It said 0.75, so that's pretty doggone close. Well, let's put it together and show you the final product. All right, well, there it is, lit up. Can't really see much because of the video lights. Happy wife, happy life.